Hello, hello. I got told yesterday in one of my sessions that my loosey-goosey use of the giant fire sticks makes some people nervous that I'm gonna like singe my hair. So that's all I could think of as I was lighting that. It probably looks like more dramatic than it really is on this end. Happy Sunday. Happy Pride. I want to, I had a bonus soul child wander into my life. My Lord. 10, almost 11 years ago. And it's her birthday today. So I just would love to wish a happy birthday, and everybody could send happy birthday thoughts to our Nicole, who's not Nicole Lilith Medium, our family's Nicole, so whom I love very much. And yeah, we have a gorgeous full moon, and I almost did a Jupiter thing, but I rewound that idea. Instead, I'm going to do a really comprehensive, probably 2-part series on Jupiter in Gemini. And so we're going to look at what house or houses that affects in your chart. And also if you have planets in Gemini, if that's going to conjunct. I could go crazy and do all the aspects to Jupiter, but we're going to do just maybe any aspects to your benefics and any major aspects, non-Ptolemaic, as Rick Levine would say. We don't say minor because nothing in life feels minor when it's happening to you. So we're going to look at some non-Ptolemaic or some major aspects to Jupiter, but we're also going to look through Jupiter through the house and talk about what does this mean, because it spends a year. It'll be there until June of 2023, 2025. My Lord, talk about rewind. And so let's talk about what that means in a different video. Oh, thank you for it loves her so much. Like, I got lucky. I have 3 amazing kids, and then I call her my bonus. If you ask me, I have 4 because I love her so much. She's an incredible, amazing human. Super talented. So I'm going to do a separate video. What I would love everybody that's watching, and I might say this for every sign, so I'm going to preemptively beg your forgiveness if it gets so repetitive. It's a slight bit annoying. But if you're watching this and you're not in membership, and I haven't ever had a session with you, and you don't have an accurate chart, like you don't have a chart where you can like tell me what all of your planets are, you can email me, or you can leave me in a comment after this video your birth time, birthplace, and birthday, so that I can let you know like what cusp, what houses Gemini is in your chart, because that's going to be super helpful. I want everybody, I think most people have a chart, and there's plenty of like online places you can get a chart, but I would love for you to have a chart before I go ahead and post the Gemini video. I will pre-record that so that I can be available to people in the chat. And that'll probably be up next week. This week is very busy, so probably next week, but Jupiter's there for a year. But today, what I wanted to concentrate our readings on was the amazing kind of new Gemini moon that's happening June 6th, so in just a few short days. And what's really nice, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, July is cranky. And then from July, it kind of stays cranky for a while. And I mean, really cranky. And, you know, let's not get into all of that, because I'm here to look into love, money, self-esteem, the things that are going to possibly come up in subjects with Venus conjunct this new moon. But I want everybody to just understand that we're going to have a series of nice aspects from now until July 6th. And then around July 8th, things get cranky and they kind of stay cranky. We might have like a nice kind of moon, but right now, with everything conjunct Venus, I want you all to work on your self-esteem, your value of yourself. I know we associate Venus with beauty or money or love, and it can be those things, but that's all depending on how you feel that you are worthy enough to attract it in. I have done a lot of work on my Venus and my self-esteem over the years, and I understand the sense of self-empowerment. And, you know, we're living in a world today that's a bit chaotic. And so knowing yourself and feeling empowered in yourself will help you make you feel less helpless when stuff is happening environmentally. So I really want to focus on how I can do that for all of you. This full moon, this new moon in Gemini is at 16 degrees. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It is conjunct Venus. And when we have a moon in Gemini and a sun in Gemini and Venus in Gemini, there's space for thought around how you feel about yourself. There's space to take in more information. You know, Gemini season is a great time to learn because Mercury is kind of the student. It takes in the information, right? And when we have Venus in Gemini, it values that information. It values intellect. And that is something, if you build your information, if you build your self-empowerment through being informed and building your intellect, that's never, we want to build you self-value that no one can ever take away for any reason, but certainly intellect is such a beautiful, solid foundation for self-worth and value in a person. So I feel like for as much as I will tease all of my Gemini moons, who I love so much, that you have to feel your feelings and not think your feelings, because that Gemini moon is so mercurial in it. But it is still such a loving, sweet moon, and it still is very susceptible to the information coming around it. So if you suffer from overthinking, if you are influenced maybe too easily by others' opinions of you, this is a beautiful, beautiful new moon to kind of build that core and that knowing of who you are and that sense of value that no one ever talks you out of again. I mean, I don't think you have to be any kind of placement to be a human in this world and have sometime experience somebody trying to gaslight you or through their own pain, you know, talk you out, or their own misinformation, talk you out of your sense of value about yourself. And so are all new moons normally great? Yeah, unless it's an eclipse. And are all, you know, Venus aspects and transits really pretty nice most of the time? Sure. But what's extra beautiful about this is that, I mean, it is conjunct so it's at 16 degrees. And what's really interesting is with it in Gemini, it's also talking to Saturn. Saturn in Pisces, it's having a square, right? So some challenge may come up in the next couple of days. I know it's not in mutual reception, right? We have a new moon and a Venus run by Mercury. And then we have, you know, Saturn and Pisces. So there's no mutual reception. However, I always liken Saturn and Pisces to like that weight holding the beautiful mylar balloon bouquet down, right? Pisces, Saturn and Pisces can be like concretizing your dreams, giving it something solid, and that self-actualization that still allows you to be soft. That self-actualization that still allows you to be a bundle of unconditional love is such an interesting transit that we have right now in the next year. And when it's squaring this new moon with Venus, what's extraordinary is you can literally see, understand. You may get a lot of clear cognizant hits during this new moon. I really feel like a lot of people are just going to like understand something or know something and they're not sure why. Maybe it'll be information coming in. Maybe it'll be just be a clear cognizant hit, which just means a download and information is dropped by your higher self, your higher knowing. And you'll understand the steps, like the pathway to that value in yourself. And while Pisces, you know, can be dreamy and concretizing your dreams, it's really about, with the Gemini new moon and Venus there's absolutely opportunity to make money. There's absolutely concrete steps on your way to a love that you can't think your way out of anymore. But there are concrete steps to make something that's like, oh, that's such a dream of mine, is to like literally put the steps down and make the pathway clear, to just make it a goal. It's really beautiful energy. And while Saturn is considered a malefic, it's a little softer, a little gentler in Pisces. And yes, it's a square, but squares present challenges to us that our chart gave us the answers to already. And everybody, that challenge is going to be different depending on what house it's in. If you want a personal reading about the new moon, I do those. Everything's in the box where you find that stuff. But this has potential not just to be like, oh, it's a new moon. And yes, you can absolutely put your stuff out in this new moon. I would make new moon water in this new moon. It's been a while since we've had a moon where I'm like, yeah, do it. This can bring beginnings in intellectual pursuits, especially with Jupiter and Mercury now in Gemini. But it really is about how we value ourselves. Is there like a certification? Is there something that you've wanted to do to satiate your goals, that all of a sudden you understand yourself better and there's more things you want to do? It's a beautiful opportunity. So today I'm just going to look into the cards as far as like what that may mean for each sign. Feel free to listen to your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and if a reading just feels like it's meant for you and it's out of sign that you understand to be in your chart, your guides will get you to the messages that you need to get to. And if I'm doing a reading for your sun sign and it gives you any kind of nervousness or it makes you feel uncomfortable, then maybe that reading's not for you. Maybe it's for somebody else. Please don't ever take on anxiety or fear from any of the readings. My position is to empower and inform, and share guidance, so I don't want anybody to be nervous. When you're listening to the signs too, you can also listen to the correlating house. So if you have a moon in the 6th house, but it's Cancer moon, you can also listen to Virgo, because Virgo would rule that 6th. And it's very easy, starting with Aries, going to Pisces, 1 through 12. The houses run the same way. Do I have any questions before I start? Are you a Gemini moon? I love Gemini moons. I have so many in my life that are incredibly special to me. And my dad was a Gemini moon. So we do not slander Gemini moons. But he was a Taurus and had some other placements. He definitely felt his feelings. He was a big mush. I have a child that's a Gemini moon. Yeah. So lots of Geminis in my life. My Gemini Mercury sits at the top of the chart like a beacon going womp womp. It brings me all the Geminis. Okay. So again, before I get into these readings, if you don't have any semblance of like what your rising sign on is, or where your Gemini falls in your, or anything falls house-wise in your chart, you can leave me a comment. The best thing to do is leave me a comment after the video is over, or I think you can kind of run and leave it now, but don't put it in the chat because I will miss it. But it's very easy for me to go back to the other messages. Okay. Yeah, I'm not all about slandering the signs. It's not my gig. All right, let's look at Aries, 1st house placements, Aries, sun, moon, rising. If you like it, I love it. If it seems like it's for you, maybe it is. And if it makes you crazy, don't take it. Hi, Corey and Cheryl and Rose and Maricela and Juan and Tanya and Teresa. Lee is working. And Renata. Hi, DeRay. I don't know why, DeRay. I said, hey, DeRay, and all I can hear is T-Pain in my head. Baby girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink. I don't know if that song is actually special to me and one of my friends. It goes with a very interesting evening that we still laugh so much about years later, because that song is old. All right. Aries, let's take a card first for what does this look like for you. Give me a second. Okay. Was that your song in college? Oh, oh. Oh, good, Corey. Hi, Adva. Hey, Michael. All right. So, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, 1st house placements. And of course, if you're cross-watching, what are some of the things that Aries may encounter during this gorgeous new moon conjunct Venus squaring Saturn? Okay. The challenge you may be, so we're going to pull the first card for like what the challenge is, and maybe like money stuff is what I'm feeling. So we got We got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Now, when I get the Wheel of Fortune or the World and they're not upright, I don't mind it so much, because the whole point of the wheel is it can be turned, and you, my friends, are the people who can turn it. So we got the Wheel of Fortune. I swear this reminds me of my perfection game when I was a kid. If you know, you know. So the Wheel of Fortune, when it's in reverse, means there might be a challenge. You're going to be expected to kind of rise to the occasion. Universe is going to give you the challenge. And being expected to rise to the occasion. So this could be something where it's just a matter of confidence, Aries. And, you know, you do confidence well. It feels like it might be something you're not sure you have all the information for. Now, maybe you have other very strong placements that mess with your Aries courageousness at times, or maybe this just feels really serious for some Aries. But what I want to say is that where normally Aries is like, I'll just learn as I go, I feel like other Aries are like that. It can't just be me. This is really important. Whatever the opportunity is, especially if it's around money, this could change your financial situations. You're gonna have to jump in, and you're gonna have to learn as you go. There may be something about being like the funny one, or the charming one, or the athletic one, and you haven't really been pegged your whole life as maybe the intellectual or the learner or the scholar. This is a chance to kind of, I feel like this is more than the new moon. I feel like this is your chance to prove to yourself, fuck everyone else. Don't worry what you got to prove. I'm not a big fan of proving anything to anyone else. I used to be. I healed that. So this is not to prove to anybody else. See, I told you I was always smart enough. This is to prove it to you. But it looks like there is a challenge coming up. You'll be able to, if it's the Wheel of Fortune, that means like once you decide to turn it, then that's changes thing. I feel the word subsidy around some of you. Let's look, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, first house placements. Let's look at what this is bringing around love, relationships. This can be mending a family relationship. This could be a romantic relationship. Temperance. Now, this is a very interesting Temperance card because it's very Gemini. It's got the two sides. We have both polarities here, right? And so it says part woman, part man, all angel. 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the land. Temperance. Often for me, temperance is not balance as much as it is a balancing act that's so delicate and fragile that it takes all the concentration. Like, it's something like if it goes out of control, it'll be no good. It'll ruin something. Just the way that if you temper an egg incorrectly, you're going to ruin something. And if you've ever made custard, you know how, like, frustrating that would be. Especially with the price of heavy cream. This is so Gemini for Aries. One of Aries, like, coping mechanisms, dare I throw around the word, like trauma manifested survival tactics, coping mechanisms, is hyper-vigilance and hyper-independence. Everybody's attracted to, like, the spicy part of you, but when you actually get into the space where you want to feel safe with somebody, I feel like you either turn to mush or you're so hyper vigilant that the situation can't be read by the other person. You're finding your balance, and we're not finding our balance for someone else. We're finding our balance for us. You're finding our balance. I think that if you're single and you're a catch, right? And you're like, what's the holdup, universe? There isn't. But you have to find the balance. It's gonna be different for everyone, but you're gonna have to find the balance within yourself of one foot on the land and 1 foot on the water. And hypervigilance and hyper-independence can breed a very spicy, which is very attractive to a lot of people, personality. And then once you let your guard down, they might feel like they're getting another person, even though both people are equally you. It's, you know, the Gemini, it's the Gemini flavor with this new moon on Aries placements. I feel like this changes how either you're dealing in a relationship now, or it opens up the floodgates for new gen. And let me tell you something. I think that Capricorn full moon that's coming up later this month is definitely going to bring in, like, connections. Hello, Tisa. All right, let's get I'm going to take shadow cards for self-esteem. That's what I'm going to do. And I haven't used this deck in a minute. I love this deck. I would have more from this company if their decks weren't $60, $70. This is the Threads of Fate shadow deck. Okay. Reclaim. So to work on a sense of self-esteem, we're going to reclaim. Aries does a lot of, like, hypervigilance, creme brulee, I'm so tough. I'm an Aries moon, so I can speak to that accurately. And just reclaiming who you are and not who you feel like you need to be to protect yourself from the world. Because Aries is the advocate, right? It's going to run into a burning building for you. So if an Aries placement loved you and ran into a burning building and you betrayed them in any way, that leaves a mark on them. And the mark isn't them crying over their drink. Their mark isn't for them to be, like, seemingly scared of all relationships. The mark that you leave when you hurt an Aries is that they're going to get hyper vigilant and hyper independence. And it's time to reclaim just who you are and create other boundaries so that your self-esteem is not messed with in here. Because that's what we're talking about in this new moon. We're talking about the self-esteem, you know, all doors open from in here. All doors of opportunity, all doors of healthiness, it starts here. All right, let's look at Taurus. What did I do with that deck? Where could it possibly go? I'm just only right here. Was under the computer. Couldn't see it. Okay. Let's look at Taurus. I'm going to keep going with the pulp. I always want to call it Pulp Riot. That's a hair color. The Pulp Tarot deck. And again, I'm starting Taurus, and I just want to remind everybody, I'm going to do probably a 2-part series on Jupiter and Gemini, since it'll be there in a year, and I'll have a concentrated energy on your chart and on a couple of subject matters, because for those of us that use Placidus, Gemini, unless you have a 0-degree rising sign, and still then, Gemini probably affects more than one house. So we're going to talk about that. If you don't have a chart, or you don't have like an idea of what houses Gemini is in, you can leave me a comment when this video is over with your birth time, your birth info. But contacting me is the best way, because then I can email you your information. You can also do that online. But I'm going to do a very comprehensive Jupiter and Gemini video, so you're going to want to know your placements and their degrees. Oop. Boop-a-doo. Baby girl, what's your name? Turn that on Do Not Disturb. I forget that there's people who want to talk to me. Okay, Taurus, second house placements. Cross watchers. If you like it, I love it. What is this new moon going to bring you concerning challenges or money? What is the challenge that Saturn is going to bring? Because Saturn and Venus can definitely, like, that could be your boss giving you a raise. But in Gemini, you're going to have to ask for it. So let's look first at a card for, like, what is the challenge that you need to meet that's going to help bring in more money? Okay. 10 of Swords, and it's in reverse. The first thing that comes, and I'm just going to let it come out my mouth, is like, who are you carrying? Where are you spreading yourself thin? Where are you giving yourself to a situation that you have not been able to save? That you spend too much time? It's almost like 8 and 9 of Swords, and then the 10, and it's upside down because it can't be turned. It's like the 8 and 9 of Swords are in limbo. There is so much thought and so much energy because of so much thought. This is a situation that may drain you mentally and emotionally. Needs to be turned. Saying what you feel. I know it's a Swords card, but that's words. Saying what you feel. Hi, Connie. And not holding it anymore because it's causing you pain. Eight and 9 of Swords in limbo is what I keep getting. When you turn the 10 of Swords, you can just complete the cycle with whatever this thing is. I feel like you are kind of marinating in worry for somebody that's they're an adult and they're responsible for their own outcomes. I feel like it's zapping your energy, if I'm being honest, Taurus. And, Taurus is fixed and it likes stability. And sometimes Taurus placements can conflate stability with things staying the same. Things staying the same is not stability. None of us in this world are meant to stay the same. A rock changes its formation. Trees change. Nothing is meant to stay the same. So when you conflate stability with staying exactly the same, you can create internal pain, because the world isn't going to stay the same, and you can't make it stay the same. This is related to money because it's this person may be relying on you for finances a little bit, but also I just feel a drain, and when it's Ten of Swords is like this, it's kind of like, you know, I always say when the cards come out in reverse, it's you that has the ability to kind of turn that. It's very hard to watch somebody that you love kind of crashing again and again. It's like Loki in that scene with Doctor Strange, where Doctor Strange has him falling for 30 minutes, right? And if you've ever loved someone who's unable to kind of adults for health reasons, we're not judging that, we're not shaming that person. That's where they're at in life. And wanting to put your hands out like this so they don't crash keeps that cycle going and going and going, kind of like Loki continually falling. It's meant well, right? This is loving yourself, and that Saturn boundary, gentle boundary, but a boundary, turns that swords upside down. And either you have more energy for a monetary journey, or again, you're going to stop bleeding yourself. Feels like you're spinning on a wheel here. New moon, self-esteem. Let that Saturn come in and create boundaries so that you can create change in a way that makes you feel safe and secure, which, you know, Taurus needs. Hey, Tina. Okay. Thank you, Tina. I love you back. Okay, let's get a card for love. We got the Queen of Pentacles. I'm going to tell you, Taurus, it came out with the moon. I think you may approach somebody, Taurus. Taurus rising, sun, moon, second house placements. You may approach somebody that you think is a really good, stable partner. You may decide, Venus and Gemini, that you want to approach somebody. When the full moon in Capricorn happens, which is June 21st, I believe that you will you're gonna get information here that really lets you open up. And just so you know, the Capricorn moon, by that time Venus moves into Cancer, and it's on the other side of the seesaw. So we have two lunations where Venus are involved. The next two, not the new moon in Cancer in July. That one I do think we get a lot of answers, though, because Neptune will be in retrograde for whatever questions that you come up with for this new moon in Gemini, and whatever feelings then really concretely feelings that you can't avoid in the full moon in Capricorn. I think you'll have your answers by the new moon in Cancer in on July 6th. These are not bad cards. almost feel like Taurus has to like wait for this person a little bit. Second house placements. You might feel like you're either waiting to approach them or you're waiting on them to either finish something up or decide that they can take a chance. And that's not taking a chance on you, Taurus. It's taking a chance on opening themselves up to a new relationship. All right, let's draw shadow card for what will help build self-esteem in this gorgeous new moon conjunct Venus. Hi, blissful knowing. Spot on. Glad to hear that. Okay. I love a good confirming oracle card. So the oracle card we have, I know these are kind of hard to read. I love, the cards are so gorgeous that have like gold inlay. Also, all of my cards that have gold inlay are the hardest to read on camera to get that angle. It says transmute. You cannot change who this person is. You cannot change external circumstances in the world. Quite often, the world is constantly moving, right? When we crave stability, what you can do is take the energy that is not yours to carry anymore, that's not yours to try to fix, that you have to like allow flow, really. And that energy that you don't know what to do with, that energy of the person that won't help themselves, that energy of, this is not what I planned for, this is not what I saved for, this is not what I worked for, and transmute it. And I love transmutations, big fan. And all you're going to say is like, you know, whoever you like, Care Bears, whatever. I've always said universe, spirits and guides, but please take any energy that I have no control over, that I cannot use to my highest good, and especially that is in the way of my highest good, and transmute that energy to comfort and inner peace about change and how change can beget stability for me. You can transmute anything. If somebody's sending you stink, stank, stunk, transmute it. Big fan of that. Transmutation energy for anyone that like grew up in the church or still goes to church or whatever, like is very like, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. If you understand those words, if you understand that declaration, the claiming of no weapon formed against me shall prosper, then going another step, energy is energy. Everything is molecular. You are just asking your guides, asking your team who love you, who are here to go to bat for you, to take that energy and transmute it for whatever you want. Transmute it for, you lose, somebody talks shit about you and you lose a pound. That's a good one. You know, someone belittles all the work you've done on your knowledge in your business, and you get free publicity, good publicity. You can transmute anything. But for Taurus in this situation, what I'm going to say is the transmutation is to take any energy that is no longer, I'm going to say it one more time, no longer in your highest good, that you do not have the power to change, and more importantly, maybe blocking you or holding you back from your highest good, and transmute that energy into energy that can be used for my acceptance and inner peace around change. and allow that change to become a stability and a flow. I've also spoken about it as the car wash. And there's somebody in here too that said to me on a reading, like, I found you on TikTok. That's wild over there. It is. It's the wild, wild west over on TikTok. People are crazy. It's funny. My friend Lori goes on TikTok and it's not really as much of a problem. But she came on YouTube and it was the wild, wild west. But for me, it's TikTok and people say crazy things. And I'm like, I don't care, because whatever they have to say, I'm just transmuting that. Like, it's funny. I'm actually, and I'm a Cancer with an Aries moon, with a Cancer Mars. Like, I used to be very, 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 very sensitive. Anything. And defensive. Sensitive and defensive was my mode of operation all the time. And now I'm at a place in life. This is one of the benefits of having squares in your charts, in your natal chart, where, and I said this to somebody yesterday, when you are looking at criticism, to take that criticism in, I want you to think, does that person live a life that I can respect? Do they have knowledge that I trust and respect? And if they do, you can take that criticism and use it like a handbook for your upgrades in life, in business, and whatever that knowledge is. And if they say it to you in a less than warm, fuzzy way, and all you think is that was mean because of how they said it, that's kind of missing the point. I don't care if they're warm and fuzzy and you want to be besties with them when they give you this criticism. What I care is, do you respect them? Do you respect how they live their life? Do you respect how they use their power in their career, in their life? And if you don't, then you don't take that criticism. And with that one principle, I promise you that every single person on the internet that is a stranger, that you have no idea how they live their life, that you have no idea of any of that, you have no idea who they are as a human being. If they are criticizing you, that is air, as my friend Kai would say. That's just air. So any energy that people want to actually expend, that's funny to me. You want to take all of your energy and put it at saying unkind things to somebody on the internet. Knock yourself out. I'm going to take your energy, and it's like pulling up to the gas station and finding out all the gas is free. Because I'm just going to take that energy, right? I'm going to take that shitty thing that you said, that broken down jalopy with the loud muffler, with the paint peeling. I'm going to put it through my car wash. It's going to come out. It's going to come out all clean and lovely. And then I'm going to use it and go wherever my next destination is that I'm most interested in. I am not spending a second worried about strangers on the internet. If you don't know for sure that you can, and it doesn't mean that they have to say it in the most lovely, warm way that is received by your moon or your Mercury or your sun or your rising or any of that. If you respect them, you respect how they use their knowledge and how they use their power, not the lifestyle, not how they get there, not how much money they have. That's not respect. That's just money. Money is energy, right? And so, but if you respect how they use the power they have, even if they're, again, words aren't wrapped in flowers and bunnies and unicorns. And if you don't respect them, if they're super sweet and give you a passive-aggressive insult to make sure you stay down here, and you don't respect how they use their power, transmute it, goes through the car wash. You're either getting a handbook or you're getting a bunch of molecular energy that you can use for yourself. If anybody knows, when I started this complete rant and went off, made a left turn at Albuquerque, and could throw me a timestamp because they feel like this should be its own little video. But for a Taurus who builds so hard, you're overcoming any instability in childhood. You're working so hard. Make sure, one, you're not doing that to prove shit to anyone, because strangers on the internet also apply to, don't worry about proving anything to anyone, because there are some people, no matter what you do, you will not be good enough, and that is not because of the person you are, that is because of the person they are. It's a lot of wasted energy. And unless you respect somebody, respect how they use their power and their knowledge, how they live their life, then it's a handbook. Otherwise, put it through the car wash. Okay. As SpongeBob would say, much, much later. Let's move on to Gemini. Okay. And sharing is caring, guys. I would love for us, trust me, you can see, and hi Phil, you can see as people come into the room, I get to know all of you. I promise you, if we get bigger, we're not going to lose the intimacy that there is in this community. I promise. Ask people who have been in the community for 3-4 years. Okay. Let's look at Gemini, and I'm grabbing another deck. I'm going to make sure I use my Queer Tarot and my Pride Tarot today. Happy Pride. My personal Facebook profile picture says, wishing all the homophobes a very uncomfortable month. I said what I said. And as my new friend James would say, you know, pride should be about having pride in who you are, no matter what that means. But absolutely. All rolls back to Venus, having value and love for ourselves. Geminis, what is this new moon is in your sign? Venus is in your sign. Mercury is in your sign. Jupiter is in your sign. It is a party. And Gemini loves a party. Gemini loves a party. Yeah, I'm an ally, and I'm not just like a quiet ally. I'm a loud protector and ally of the alphabet mafia. So I am so sorry if that makes anybody uncomfortable, but I'm not. I lied. I'm not. If it makes you uncomfortable, I am here if you want to have a conversation about it. And we can do that through email. And if for any reason that makes you not want to watch me, this is such an unconditional, loving, supportive space. And so that includes all of the humans. And that's just how we kind of get down in this community. So I would welcome anybody to stay and get comfortable with being uncomfortable until they realize that all the unconditional love and acceptance that they give out, they also get back. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so this is interesting. So with the challenge for Gemini and money stuff for Gemini, we have the Eight of Pentacles. And so what I love about this Eight of Pentacles is she's very, very concentrated on the one. These are done. They're hung. There's one more here. We are so focused on something. Geminis, I want you to look at the bigger picture. Here's one of the things that I know about Gemini and Gemini moons and Gemini Venus in particular is that it's an information highway in here, right? And so you could be settled in a thought and somebody else goes, oh, that's not the way to do it. Do it this way instead. I really, really think confidence is the thing. You're focused on you. I can do this one thing. I can do it really well, but you can do more. And in Jupiter and Gemini placements, Jupiter's going to run over all of your placements that you have in Gemini for the next year. It allows you to take on. Now, what it also can do, and I'm going to talk about this in my Jupiter and Gemini video, is overstimulate, overcommit, right? And have so many things. So you can do more than one thing, but that one thing that you're already doing, we just want to make it bigger. And Jupiter does that. It expands. Gemini, I mean, you guys have a beautiful year coming up. You are already doing a great job. You can do more. I don't want you, when I say don't limit yourself, I don't want you to take on 6 more projects. I don't want you to help 12 more people. I don't want you to say yes to things that you don't want to say yes to. In excitement, in help, in like, you know, because life is a party, right? If you're a Gemini. But I want you to do the one thing that you're doing and do it bigger, because you can, because you should have that confidence. You should have that confidence. Yeah. Whatever you've got going on, Gemini, you can expand it. You can expand it. You're going to have to do that with a sense of self-worth. But it's going to, like, you know, the 8 of Pentacles leads to the 9 of Pentacles, which is reaping the fruit of your rewards. No. Yeah, right? Picking the fruit of your labors, reaping the rewards of your something. I don't know. You get the idea. Let's look at love for Gemini. Okay, the Magician. Okay, so this is number 1. This is all of the elements together. This is summoning your guides. This is understanding that you have the tools to go on the journey, right? The 0 card is the Fool. The 1 card is the Magician. This is where we are gathering all of our tools, both the ones that are in our hands, the ones that are in our brains, the ones that are in our hearts, the ones that are in our sense of self-esteem we worked on, and the tools that we are provided by our team and our guides. Whatever love comes in the month of June, you have manifested. And the thing that Geminis sometimes don't realize that they do, because they will marinate in their thoughts, right? I mean, if you really, hi Serenity Girl, if you really want to woo a Gemini and just like run your fingers over their thoughts slightly, and I can speak to that as a Gemini Mercury. You may have manifested this by not acting on your feelings, but sitting in thought so much, this person cannot help but think about you now. Like all the time. So now they're interested. Now they're checking out your page. Now they're, I think you like, I don't think it's an accidental manifestation, but it might come easier to you than you expected in the month of June. Not mad at that for you, Gemini. Okay, let's look and see what the shadow card is so that Gemini can empower, increase their self-value. So I don't think that that's an accident. It's the universe. We just got the Magician. And what did I just say? So you're not just going to harness the tools that you can reach and hold. Your sword and your wand. That sounded very... and your cup and your Pentacle. You're harnessing the universe. I hate being told that I overtalk or overthink, because what that does is let somebody's words influence me out of what my strengths are. Manifestation for Geminis can come easier as long as you understand the power of your thoughts, of your mind, of how that all works. It's energy. So don't let somebody tell you that the Gemini energy, where if you're a chatterbox, or if you are constantly entertaining thoughts, if the hamster on your wheel never stops and changes direction often, never let anyone tell you that that isn't your superpower. I find often in life that the other things that people will most criticize you about are actually your superpower. And when other people don't feel good about themselves, it's easier if everybody's on an even playing field. So keep that in mind. It's your strength, not a weakness. That brain. Love will come easier in June if you want it. It'll just, because you're manifesting all the time. Okay. Let's look at Cancers. Cancers, sun, moon, rising, 4th house placements. Also, I am looking, so for poor Juan, so he doesn't get held with all the, you know, he's a very big, important person. He's got things to do. So I am looking for other moderators. I promise there are little perks if you are moderators. So if you want to have the power of Grayskull and have a wrench by your name, and you're interested in, you know, you don't have to commit to being on every live, but when you can, that you can get like timestamps or whatever. Welcome people in, that kind of thing. Go to my, you can either, if you have my email me, or you can always go to my website, and there is a contact me, like in 12 different places there, and just let me know you're interested. You want a wrench, Maricela? Perks include ginseng. I love you. Oh my god. I'm holding back the tears. Ginsu knives for only $9.99 and 4 easy payments. But wait, there's more. My astrologer friend and I were looking at a chart the other night, and we were finding like all these like crazy squares and oppositions, and I was like, wait, there's more. She immediately went, this is the worst commercial ever, because the chart was gnarly. Okay. Okay. Whew. Cancer. I don't know why this is the challenge card, but it's the money card. There's a divine partnership coming in for you that might be related to money. The only reason that I would see this as a challenge, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, 4th house placements, is if you have been burned recently in the area of partnership. But there is a divine, you know, the 4 of Wands is the 1111 card. And it would be, universe is kind of giving its blessing to whatever this is, or universe arranged it. And it's celebration. I think with Pisces being the squaring planet for Cancer, it's just like is there. Fog, let me tell you something. If you're worried about putting your full trust into this divine partnership, and again, this may lead to money. Cancers is, you know, you'll for sure know by July 2nd. If you have that kind of time. If you have to sign any contracts, Cancer, because, you know, if you're a Cancer rising, especially, that Gemini new moon could be in your 12th house, depending on the degree. But if you have to sign any contracts for like money, even if it's like TikTok, affiliate, YouTube, make sure it's something where you understand everything you're signing, and that if after July 2nd, if you have to make a decision now after July 2nd or the time after July 2nd, where you're like, oh no, well, homie is not playing that, you can get out of it. But universe is giving you the blessing, but if it makes you feel uncomfortable, just, you know, that is your sign. The 1111. You may have gotten burned before. That can happen to a Cancer. This will be more even. I feel like it's possible that in other previous partnerships you may have given a little more, which, listen, is on you, Cancer. As a lesson I've learned, that's on you, right? You can't overgive and then be resentful for somebody that, especially if they didn't ask you to overgive, for sure. But if you're actually doing work, and it's not being appreciated or reciprocated in a work situation, that's when I would maybe just make sure there's reciprocity of here, like Two of Cups kind of, you know, Venus and Cancer. But this does look good. And just remember, when we're giving for something that's not contractual, that's not asked of us, if we're willingly giving something because we want to nurture something, then give it without expectation of reciprocation or even appreciation. You're giving it because it makes you feel good, and there should be no ulterior motive of evoking a reaction or a thank you. If it's something that you cannot do, and you have to sit with this and ask yourself that question without expecting the gratitude, or expecting something else to change because you did that nice thing, then don't give it. That was a big one for me. Giving without the expectation. Writing something supportive to somebody and not being upset if they didn't answer back, because if I felt that they needed the support, they might not be in a place where they want to communicate, right? So like, it taught me a lot. And then you can give without like something being attached to it in a way that builds resentment, or worse, mistrust in yourself to know who to give to. That's worse. All right, Cancer, let's pull a love card. God forbid I should just fucking pull cards and be like, this means this and that means that. Next time. The moon. Okay. So what's interesting is we have a full moon. There's a truth that you will not get till the Capricorn full moon. You might want it now, Cancer, but you're not going to get it until the Capricorn full moon. When you do, I'll just show you the card in the upright. When you do, I think that there's either more blended family. Like, I feel like once this goes upright, there's no avoiding this connection. But there's a piece of information you may not have, and I don't think you'll have it till that Capricorn full moon. But once that turns around, there's no going back. It's, how do we get this together? How do we blend the family? How do we... Because there's two... The moon card doesn't always have structures. There's two structures there. So... Aw, you guys are all so sweet. All right, let's pull a shadow card for Cancer. This should get interesting. Cancer's shadow. There's a lot you can fit under there and under that crab shell, in between all those little juicy pieces. All right, do we want a different deck? Come on, I want a shadow card for Cancer. All right, I take it back what I said. All right, there we go. The magic. Okay. Cancers. Sometimes you can feel like you're yelling into a void. Because you just, the love is, it's the moon, right? You rule the moon. So like, it can feel like it's overflowing. It's so big. It moves the oceans, for Pete's sake. This is the magi. The magi. You're also intuitive. You also have excellent transmutation abilities. I'm just going to say it. You have a choice right now with this Gemini full moon to kind of, you can sit there and pick through relationships and things you've said and moves you've made and moves you didn't make. Or you can understand your power and use it and make sure in no way that you stay in any kind of a victim mode. I feel like this whole reading is saying the same thing, which is about, you know, if you give without it, an expectation of evoking a certain reaction or emotion from somebody, and instead just, you can use that power. I often recommend to Cancers, like, understand where you can use and help others. Use your gifts and help others in a way that you're not pouring it into a relationship. Because people who need to be nurtured will find you, and not all of them, right? Not all of them will be a Venus in Cancer. Not all of them, if you find somebody who needs to be nurtured, they may not also be in a space where they can give back, and certainly not how you're going to do it. So take that power, be the magi, use it, but use it on another outlet outside of your relationships. Right? Love can move mountains, absolutely. But like self-love and putting it out to others, that, especially like vulnerable communities, that kind of thing, that will be so rewarding. You will not feel resentful. You will not feel stung. You will not feel unappreciated ever. Take it out of your relationships. So you're not sitting there in your head thinking about what you could have done different. Let's move over to a different deck. Looks like June's going to be interesting for Cancer. Okay. Very befitting. We're going to use the Pride Tarot. Go take on an altruistic or, you know, some kind of work. Anonymous deeds are incredible. All right. Leo's 5th house placements. Leo's sun, moon, Cancer rising. If you like it, I love it. You're cross-watching. If you're watching anonymously, hi. Okay. We have the 10 of Cups. Somebody's also preggers in this one. But we have the 10 of Cups for the money card. Leos. You can stop being ready to be ready. It's kind of time. There's a project. You know, whenever I see a hint of pregnancy or a card that can be like, you know, the Empress or very fertile card, to me that's giving birth to a new creation. Very, very, very fitting for Leo. Kind of owner of the 5th house, right? The challenge with Saturn and Pisces is feeling like, is it ready? Having the idea and having the passion for it. You just need that Saturnian flavor, which this challenge might give you. And I feel like this, you might be doing this with friends. You might be doing this with a loved one. But it feels safe in the celebration of the idea of it. And but it's time to actually like take the risk, make the moves. Leo. Take the risk, make the moves. You're supported here. Okay. Love for Leo. Love about this Gemini moon, new moon, conjunct Venus. Squaring Saturn and Pisces. What do we have for love? And remember, depending on your placement, things can happen right before or right after a new moon. Okay. That is the Lovers. Leo, last summer, you might have felt like your Leo house got red to filth with that Venus in retrograde. All the squares to Leo. It's been still a lot of squares, you know, because the nodal axis was in Scorpio and Taurus for a while. And as it drifted out, the Leo Venus in retrograde came in. You know, you got Pluto on the other side of your seesaw if you have early Leo placements. But it will move into Capricorn again just for a tiny bit. September 1st to November 18th. I feel like you're catching a break. You've got one more thing, Leo, July 8th until July 17th, but July 13th and 14th, Mars and Uranus in Taurus are conjunct at 26 degrees, and that's squaring any 26 degrees in Leo. Hi, Zoe. Other than that, it feels like Leo is forged in fire from the last 2 years, and I'm getting complete chills. It feels like somebody just poured ice water down my back. This feels like you're getting a break, Leos. You know, the Lover's card is also the Gemini card. It could be called the Choice. Gemini actually sextiles your placements, which is a pleasant conversation to have. I feel like you're coming off the pedestal in a good way. I feel like someone who, there's just pressure off of you. There's pressure off of you. You get to live who you've become this last 2 years. 2.5. I mean, I don't know if people are aware, but Leo's really, some of the transits have not been fun. And I also feel vindication for Leo. Here's the thing, Leos don't live in their ego. People put them on pedestals, and a pedestal is a terrible place to be because there's only one way down. And also when somebody puts you on a pedestal, it's likely that they don't feel their self-esteem, their skill level, their whatever it is matches. And so that insecurity will show up, never in a good way, eventually. Like learning that your deepest truth of who you are and being able to like live that without the bullshit. People have come in before, were attracted to the limelight, were attracted to, you know, you're the sun, Leo. And they were coming in to kind of hop on. I want to say your pedestal, your platform. Platform seems like an important word. But now you get to be exactly who you are. And someone's going to come in it's like they wanted your glow through osmosis and proximity. Leo's magnetic. I always say Leo and Scorpio are very magnetic. You're catching a break. This love card is about like a divine partner. And also just being able to be exactly who you are and who you are now, and not like, if you've changed, if you've deepened, which I can't imagine you haven't, the people that thought you were surface when you never were surface to begin with, but thought you were surface and wanted proximity because of that and the benefits that went with that. If I'm talking to you, this makes sense. You get to drop off of those people. Those people can, they can suck it, quite frankly. But they, you know, they're, oh, I'm smelling like cologne that's like fresh out of the shower. I almost want to say I'm smelling Joop. I don't know if you guys all remember that. That was like a 1990s big cologne. I've been smelling colognes lately, and like old ones, like discontinued ones. It's almost giving me a little light blue Dolce & Gabbana, which is still around. Now that's like a veteran. But I swear I'm smelling Joop. That's gotta be for somebody. You wear Joop? Stop it. You do not. I want to know how many people even know what that, ever heard of that cologne and perfume. I'm smelling somebody fresh out of the shower. And I don't know if that's like symbolism for like all of the, like you just want to be cake and not icing. And you don't want anybody to, like you want to ice the cake, but you don't want to be just seen as icing. Oh my God. Okay. Ooh, Leo came in deep. All right, and now we're going to pull a shadow card. Okay. Does anybody under the age of 40 remember Joop? Under the age of 40. It's funny, I never wore it. A friend wore it. I never wore it. Yeah, in the 90s. Yep. Late 80s, 90s. And there's also just got a whiff of the Triangle Liz Claiborne. What are the chances? I did not have smelling Joop on my bingo card, like for anything. Okay. The Sovereign. Yeah. Leo wearing a crown. Not surprising. But that crown doesn't have to be like, you don't want fake people. Loyalty is everything. So like, you do not want fake people who just like through osmosis and proximity want to they misunderstand you. It's time for you to go like sit back on your throne, Leo, but like not with bullshit cajoling adorers, like with yourself and with the new life you built. You're catching a break. Ooh, Leo, y'all sent me. Hey, Shauna, hey. You came in just as we were talking about Joop. Not shoop, like salt and pepper. Joop. All right, let's look at Virgos. And then we're halfway through. People are right-handed. Right? Like, I know what my cup says. And also I can't read it when it's down here. Why do they not put the words on this side? But that's not how I hold the cup. And not even if you're on camera. If you're sitting there talking to somebody and drinking your coffee, don't you want them to read your words? I have the vocabulary of a well-educated sailor. One of my favorite cups. I'm not a lefty. This is my right side. It's annoying to me. All right, so when I make cups in my Etsy shop, I'm going to make sure that the designs are on both sides, which I always do anyway. Why would you not? Okay. We're going to give Maricela a wrench like you, Shauna. And I think that Cheryl has volunteered. Okay. Money and challenge. Something wants to be resurrected, Virgo. It may have been feeling overwhelmed. It may have felt like, I feel like you probably had to put something down for several reasons. I feel like life hit you. And you put something aside. It's time to bring it back up. The death card in reverse to me is a resurrection. Something you kind of like, I'm nailing that coffin shut and like, look, no, it's not. So if this is about money and challenge because of that square from the new moon conjunct conjunct Venus in Gemini to the Saturn in Pisces, yeah, I feel like boundaries that were necessary at that time, like shut whatever this was down, but you have space for it again now. Feel a little fear around, a little, you know, just a little anxiety around opening this back up. Oh, I want to do another card. This week I'm going to do, this week is busy. Next week will be the Jupiter video. And again, if you don't know like what degrees everything is in your chart, go to my website, which is in the box, and hit the contact and be like, hey, I need to know. And I will send you like a comprehensive list if you have time reading a chart. Hey, James. I don't know why I just wanted to say, what's up? It's like old as shit. You'll have your answers before the full moon in Capricorn, but this is going to come back in as an opportunity, and there's money attached to it, Virgo. Adva, you heard what name, babe? Okay, your love card for Virgo is the Empress. I feel like you can have who you want. That came immediately. Saw what I needed to see, heard what I needed to hear, felt what I needed to feel. Immediately yes, immediately yes. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, 6th house placements. You could just sit and they'll come to you. The full moon in Pisces is going to bring not until the full moon in Pisces will you have to decide who it is that you feel just most aligned with, because that's who you go with. You'll be ethical. I don't think that like you're giving anybody commitments because you're Virgo. You're not going to do that. Not that there aren't Virgos that can be players. I've met a few. But you can have who you want right now, Virgo. So it's just about asking for what you want from universe for love, and then let it come in, and you won't have to make any decisions about this until the full moon in Pisces. That's coming in very clear. Thank you, Shauna. You do not have to do that, but thank you. It's a very human. I feel like such a teamster of a human. I don't know if everybody knows what teamsters are. But like literally, I have a friend from New York who's like big guy. He's like, I could throw you in with the Teamsters. He said he might be able to run it. So like it's so hard for me to conceptualize being looked at as like this like sweet little fairy. I mean, the Fae are some formidable people too, so Ginsu knives for sure. If you're watching this in the replay, I apologize if I'm always going live. If you can't be live and in the chat with these people whose clear coping mechanisms are humor. But if I'm just always going live when you're not available and you are interested in the shenanigans that happens in this chat, highly enjoyable, tell me when I should go live so that you too can join in the shenanigans and get a set of Ginsu knives for like 4 easy payments. Oh, Nikki just laid on my feet. Is that your sorry for knocking everything over before, bud? Oh my god, she's so young. She does not know what Ginsu knives are. You cut through a can and cut through a tomato. Okay. I want to pull one of these instead of a shadow card for Virgo because that's what I am feeling. There's something more in a tarot for shadow for Virgo card. You know, I was like not going to bother with a lot of makeup today, and I'm glad I didn't because I would have mascara and all kinds of stuff running right now. Been laughing. Page of Cups. The little fish in the cup is spitting you in the eye. Okay. There may be a very forward way of speaking and dealing with people because passive aggressive is normally a you shall not pass for Virgo placements. I'm trying to find a nice way to say this, Virgo, although I know my Virgos can handle. You are not trying to jump on the desk from up there. Yes, you did. Can we have an agreement that you're not going to knock everything over in the middle of all of this? Do I need to make a path for you? Your mother is working. Okay. Everything is moved. Now you can come over. I cannot. It's like trying to babysit and do this at the same time. Okay? Don't eat that. Don't eat that. Stop. This cat. Okay. Virgo is... Do you see the way that so Virgo is frustrated and they are done with passive aggressive people. So if they think somebody is even remotely trying to be passive aggressive, you may have been maybe a little bit kind of a dick talking to them because we're not doing that in the year 2024. We are not doing that. So this is, the shadow card is how do you balance not wanting to have anybody be passive aggressive with you, feeling like whenever you've tried to be like very Virgoian and saying, well, can you please break down what that means, blah blah blah, you know, and you've tried to be gentle and have it ends up spitting you in the face. But now we've gotten to the point where we're just like, you're gonna have to say what you mean, because I don't have time for that. Like, come on, don't use 20 words to sit, like, just get to the point kind of place. That is what I'm feeling. A little bit almost the same of like the Aries thing, where like the boundaries are up so much that there's like, I want to be gentle, so in order to be gentle, I also have to create these big boundaries. And that's very, very true. Just knowing that not everybody is going to spit back at you the kindness that you give them seems really important right now in how you're handling conversations, because you have the knowledge, Virgo. You've processed it, edited it. You have the knowledge. So the shadow work for you to build your self-esteem, because you will feel bad later. I keep being called to say, like, find a new, like, what you could put in your back pocket kind of thing. Like, sometimes when I'm talking to clients, I will give them phrases to put in their back pocket. So, like, the next time they deal with this situation, they can say, you know, example A. Those are the tools that you need right now. Something's like half coming to me, but I don't want to do that. So if it fully comes to me later, then what I will do is put it in the comments. Okay. Libra, sun, moon, rising, 7th house placements. Let's see what we have. For the money challenge, we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, I feel called to go back to what I said before about taking advice, and if you don't respect somebody, and it doesn't mean that they have to say it nicely to you, but you just have to say, do you respect what they do with their knowledge and their power and how they use it? Libra, somebody is going to use less than warm, fuzzy words with you. And it is your challenge to hear past the way it's said, and there's a value in what is being said. Again, it feels like it unlocks money or a money opportunity. Okay, this just came in really, really, ooh. There's upward mobility, might be sideways and then upward, but there's upward mobility wherever your career is, whether you're working for a corporation, a company, whether you're for yourself. The challenge that's going to come up, oof, chills, is that if you're seen as somebody that cannot be managed without kid gloves, time is money kind of thing, if you're only listening to how something is being said and not the content of what is being said, if you can like separate those two, there's promotion, there's upward mobility, there's places for you to go. I feel like you're valued at work, but like there's concern about like if they put you into a more fast-paced or something that if you have to be like corrected quickly, that's going to be like 3 meetings. Hi, Shingamafall. I'm telling you, I don't think the people under 40 will be. I really want to see if you're under 40, if you've ever heard of Joop, because I think no. It was like a very novelty perfume in the 90s. This is about, like, you know, you're an air sign, Libra. This is about not letting the way that other people construct their sentences or the words they use around their manner of speech shift your self-confidence at all. And like once that's evident, I swear there's promotion, there's upward movement in your career, period. But especially if you work with others. Okay. Let's get a card for love for Libra. You know, this Venus will be trining I love you more conversation with your placements, Libra, especially if you have placements between 11 and 21 degrees. Okay, you got two cards that came out. Brown chicka brown cow. Ace of Wands, right through the sacral chakra. Getting your groove back in some kind of romantic situation. And the Star. Libra 7th house placements. I'm not saying there's any like mechanical dysfunction that you've been experiencing, but that part of you could have been dormant for a while. And if that's you, if you've just not like, if no one's been able to like make the thighs hot or whatever your version of that is, it's like wish fulfillment and a gift from universe of getting your groove back. I don't know how else to say that. Brown chicken, brown cow. Maricella's always there with the quality custom emojis. Yeah, this is real nice. And look how similar that and that is. I don't know if they're getting to the thighs through the brain, through the words. It's a very sapiosexual new moon. But then has a little fantasy, but it's like fantasies that you can make happen because it's Saturn and Pisces squaring it. Not mad at it. All right, let's pull a shadow card. For Libra, what way can you like empower your self-esteem? Let's look. Sometimes we're in our own way, right? A lot of times we're in our own way. I found to be. What is that blocking me from everything I want? Oh, it's me. It's an old mindset. All right. Destruction. Yeah. Okay. Listen, Libras. Let it all burn down. Let it all. Change in Venus brought to you by Tom Morello is what I want to say. This revolution is being brought to you by Tom Morello. If you know, you know. Hi, Odelia. How are you? I mean, something is being put on fire here. There's definitely something where you just have to like not be concerned with how other people are going to construct. Like you may speak to somebody in a way that feels like a hug and somebody else is not, and it doesn't mean they don't like you, or liking you just may not be, because this is like money, possible career challenge. Liking you may just not be a thing. Like it might not be a necessity to whatever that subject matter is. Deconstructing. I mean, astrology is astronomy is the study of the celestial bodies in the sky. Astrology is the study of the effect those have on us, right? And then it's a lot of math and research and collected data. The collected data shows us that often Libra placements are in a household where they would like everybody to speak way nicer to each other than they do, in one way or another. This becomes a thing in adulthood. Deconstructing that for you as an adult, you carry the stability within inside you, and that you do not have to sacrifice your inner peace for outer peace is always kind of like a Libra journey. Deconstructing that, you really get something that you love that turns you on. Feels like a wish fulfillment. But the shadow work to just increase your self-esteem so that this doesn't become something that then you have anxiety over. Yeah, that felt real clear. Okay, Scorpio, sun, moon, rising, 8th house placements. If you're cross-watching, if you just for some reason want to listen to the shenanigans and messages, you like it, I love it. All right. Ooh, that was interesting. Is that my bumper to bumper? Bumper to bumper. That's what my mom used to say. It's bumper to bumper. Instead of just saying there was traffic. And then would insist that that was like not a New York thing to say while she was saying bumper to bumper with no R. Okay. April, hello, love. Okay, Scorpio, what's the challenge and what money? Okay. Okay, so Scorpio placements, 8th house placements, there might be a Queen of Wands that's in reverse. For some of you, so whenever I have the Queen of Wands and she's in reverse, she can often, for me, if I feel around it, be like an interloper, be like a karmic, and I'm hearing the, hey, dirty baby, I want your money. Either you need to turn this around. You're the queen of, you need that like walk through a room like you own it kind of confidence again, Scorpio. Or this is somebody does not have your best interest and you're aware. And the challenge is how to get them out, because They're stunk energy. And a Queen of Wands, when she is an interloper, doesn't care. When she is karmic, she used to like light fire to the rain on her way out. So that may be the challenge. For a lot of you, though, this is just about, like, things will happen, and I promise you, by the Capricorn moon, you're gonna feel your mojo back. Ooh, that feels like a battle. All right, let's look at love. I sent Lee out to go get a job. No, she has a new job and she loves it and they love her, which I had predicted. Hi, Christina. I predicted, I was like, they're going to cross-train you. They're going to, like, eat you up. Yum. So the original job that she applied for then wasn't available. But they're like, but we really like you and we would like to keep you. So they're already having conversations about cross-training her for more than one. So... Okay, let's get a card for love for Scorpio for this new moon in Gemini conjunct Venus. I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, babe. We were getting pizza last night. And she goes, she started to ask for things. I was like, I don't want that on our pizza. I said, I can't wait till next week when you have your first paycheck. You can get your own pizza with your own stuff on it. I'm just kidding. My kids can live with me till they're 100. I plan on being really fucking old, so 100 sounds about right. Okay, so 5 of Wands came out in reverse for Scorpio. 5 of Wands for me is inner conflict. What's really interesting as we look in this card is that this is very wrapped up. All the flames are inside this person. They're carrying lilies, almost like they are confused whether to give a burning desire within them a funeral or not. Now, it came out upside down. I think that Scorpio is coming out of this inner conflict, and I think that if there were other... I mean, this may have to do with the karmic that's also money-related leaving. You know, the Queen of Wands is kind of like using her power over people when it's in reverse. Hey, Amber. With this one inside, it almost feels like it has a little death card vibe to it between the, almost like a mummification and the lilies. I want to say that there's less inner conflict. Again, Capricorn moon, and if not by the Capricorn moon, certainly by the new moon in Cancer, I think that this inner conflict will wash away for Scorpio. We also have 5 of Wands in relation to love. This is something that's like very passionate. There's like in such a deep inner desire that you haven't let out yet. And so in reverse, if you've carried that with you like a Scorpio under the surface, under the iceberg, when this releases, it feels kind of big. It feels kind of big. Okay, let's pull a shadow card for Scorpio. Does Scorpio even need a shadow card? This card is just so visceral with the way they are wrapped so tight and like lovingly those flowers, but Scorpio might not feel safe to let it out yet, but you will. Okay, the shadow card is compassion. I almost want to say, if this is Scorpio, I know people think that like Scorpios are all vengeful and stuff, but they're much harder on themselves than they're like Virgos that way. They're much harder on themselves than they are on other people. That compassion, if we're going to talk about self-esteem, and you know, Scorpio and Gemini are in conjunct, so you're not sharing a modality, an element, nor a polarity. So what Gemini can then show you, teach you, especially with Jupiter in its sign, is really, and that Venus conjunct is, I hope you are giving that compassion to yourself. I think you need to let this out of its cocoon. Okay. Sagittarius. Thank you for that beautiful Sagittarius full moon. That was a very nice moon. I'm change decks again. Okay. Nice shuffle. I feel good about this deck for Sagittarius. Let's see what Sagittarius. Now Sagittarius, of course, is on the opposite side of the new moon and Venus, and it is also squaring the Saturn in Pisces. The only thing left in Taurus now is Mars and Uranus. When they make a hug in July, it's going to be unpleasant, but Sagittarius kind of gets to escape that a little bit unless you have a strong fixer earth somewhere else. Okay. Again, death card in reverse, just like Virgo, who you're also squaring. This death card is really interesting because we really see the rebirth in this death card. You know, regrowing from feeling empty and how big and beautiful this regrows. So Sagittarius, it feels like there's been like movement and movement and movement and movement, and all of a sudden things feel still. And I almost feel like a cautiousness around moving forward because you've had all this incredible, beautiful growth. You don't want to go backwards. When we're talking about like Gemini and Pisces and Sagittarius, those mutable signs, Virgo as well, but those mutable signs can tend to like maybe take on anxiety a little quicker. If you have a Sag Mercury, you may be somebody who experiences anxiety more easily than you'd like to. That I feel like is the challenge here with this new moon. So like the Venusian part that I would like you to embrace is that, one, you're gonna learn more from failure, right? Fear is what holds us back, not failure. We'll learn some of the best things from failure. And the other thing is, Sagittarius, is that you can't hold all the knowledge and wisdom of the universe at all times. Give that, like, the way you cheer others on to yourself a little bit here, because it almost feels like you're there's an indecision and anxiety around an indecision that it feels like is universe put me like kiboshed, and is universe putting me on hold, or am I putting myself on hold? Because I feel so good about the growth, and I feel so good about the rebirth of who I am, that I don't want to go backwards on that. It feels like there was a pretty weighty decision. I want you to, Sagittarius placements, 9th house placements, I feel like I want to say to you, like, really write down what the weight, and I feel like I've said this to Virgo before, like write down what's the worst case scenario, go through that worst case scenario in your head, and then furthermore, I want you to think about, like, does that affect me carrying other people? Does that affect what others will think of me? Does that make me not a good example? Am I putting pressure on this in ways that I should not be? Because that is what I feel for you, Sagittarius. I feel like some of it is real, like, decision. This is like, for some of you, this is like you're in a big life transition, so every decision kind of feels weighty. But for some of it, you're like putting the cart before the horse a little bit, and also maybe carrying other people, that it's like, that's okay. You know, like, I want to say like they're adults and they, you know, can move other places if they don't like where this is. There's something here where I feel like maybe some of the pressure is that you're expected to like carry everybody. These are the mystical moments tarot that my niece Faithy gave me, and these are probably top 5 favorite decks, if not top 3. I just absolutely love these cards. Okay. Let's get a card for love for Sagittarius. And then I will give away a 15-minute reading at the end. Okay, very interesting. The Chariot, Sagittarius. This is an inconjunct for you. This is a quincunx for you. You are, again, like I talked about Scorpio and Gemini. So when we have Sagittarius and the Cancer card, the Chariot, there's movement, but it's very, very slow. Again, this is like everything. Hi, Dali. This is everything is being so carefully considered, which sometimes is unusual for Sag, depending on the placement. But there's a lot to learn. When the Chariot card comes up for love, whatever this is you may be moving into something with a new partner or potential partner, and universe, you know, the dude abides is what I just heard. But Cancer and Sagittarius don't share an element, nor a modality, nor a polarity. And so there's a lot they can learn from each other. This is a really beautiful card to get for love. And because it's a snail and not horses, this is slow and steady, which feels like the pace that you need right now. Hey, Karen. Let's pull shadow card. I'm going to pull... Oh, where'd those go? Those are always right there, and now they're not. I guess I have to redo all of this again. Huh. Okay. Taking this as an oracle or advice card, because I don't feel like you need a shadow card. I feel, so this is the working your light. We are still on Sag. Okay. Trust the niggle. So this is about guides and higher self. The anxiety that I felt in the beginning of this reading, especially with the Cancer Chariot card going so slow, even with love and romantic relationships. The way you empower right now is, I mean, you're Sagittarius and you know things. Anxiety is our thoughts, inner critic, reliving in our brains past decisions, and possibly with a bit of shame, or else it wouldn't feel like anxiety, right? Fear. The opposite of fear is empowerment, and that usually comes from knowledge. And the thing is that Sagittarius, don't let your brain out-talk what the rest of you knows. You are so gifted. So gifted. All right, Capricorns. Capricorn, 10th house placements. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising. If you like it, I love it. If you're cross-watching, if you just feel called. Let's see what this Gemini new moon conjunct Venus, squaring Saturn, but in Pisces, has for you in the form of that square with Saturn, your ruler, for a challenge, and how when the challenge is met, the money will come in. Let's see that. Hey, Mystic. Okay, Eight of Pentacles. Again, we have a card similar to, I want to say Gemini got the Eight of Pentacles. So laser focused and working away on one thing. Don't forget that you can also expand that right now, especially with Jupiter and Gemini. And, you know, that'll depend on, again, I'm going to do the whole comprehensive Jupiter and Gemini. What does this bring for the next year? And if you don't know the degrees and the of your houses and of your planets, please go to my website and contact and give me your birth info so you can have that before that video goes up. There's a Seven of Swords that also came out in reverse. There's a challenge here of feeling like you want to work alone and it's hard to expand that way. I feel like somebody stole your ideas, or somebody, you feel like you have to stop more what you're doing to show somebody else the right way to do it, and it would be easier to do it yourself. Like, I'm feeling a whole bunch around that. There's trust issues here as a challenge. You're Capricorn. So I often say, like, the 10th house feels like climbing a jagged rock, but in a glass house where everybody is watching. And I'm feeling like you don't want to get, you don't want to look like a chump for, like, giving somebody else the ideas or the training or the whatever, and then they go off. And you feel like it's thankless. I feel like because everybody is watching, that is not the part they're focused on. They're focused on the fact of how much everyone can learn from you. And when you release that, like, you can't be a brilliant genius Capricorn and not have people learn from you. And certain people can learn just from watching you and never engaging with you. Like, people are gonna learn from you. You're being watched. You're Capricorn. So, like, give it away and stop worrying if it's somebody is stealing, like, because they still can't be you. I almost want to extend this, even though this is like challenge and money and stuff, because I always say, like, if you're doing this like mind down, then it's hard for universe to give you more, because your arms need to be open for receiving. This also, there's like a worry about being replaced, work, relationships, all of it, but like there's no one can be you. You're not ever replaceable. It's like the production of what you do is the one thing that never disappoints you. Yeah. Okay, there might be something here about managing expectations too, but we're going to let the oracle or the shadow card tell us that. Let's pull a card for love for Capricorn. You're welcome. I don't know what you're thanking me for, but you're welcome. Oh, I am hungry. I like cook my ass off for days, and then I'll have like 4 days where I don't feel like cooking at all or making anything. I have to make more bread. I made 2 loaves of bread and 8 rolls the other day, and I make like a hybrid brioche sandwich bread. It's not full brioche, but it's like all soft and squishy. Gone in 36 hours. All of it gone. So I have to go make more. I love that they love it. I made cinnamon rolls, gone. Love for Capricorn for this new beautiful Gemini moon conjunct Venus. Capricorn. Who got the happy ending card? 10 of Pentacles. This is you, Capricorn. I love it. Sitting on top of the world. The happy ending. Everybody under your care. This is very kind of Capricorn moon too. Everybody under your care. Everybody under your roof. If you know a Capricorn moon, especially as they get older, they love when everybody is under their roof, whether that's their own little family or like extended family. I don't know what else to say about this. You know, you have a Capricorn full moon, it's going to be overflowing. That also has Venus on the other side of its seesaw. So you have the sun and Venus in Cancer, and you'll have the moon in Capricorn, and it's fucking beautiful. That happens around, I want to say June 21st. I have to look at those. I have been going through charts and dates and forward because it's my job as an astrologer. So now they're all like, it's like whatever that thing is in A Beautiful Mind or something, when like all the numbers are in the air. And usually my Virgo brain can separate better, but I've spent an inordinate amount of time all up in the transits for the next 6 months, the last 48 hours. But I'm pretty sure it's 21st. So it's around the corner, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And it's like you've earned it. The Ten of Pentacles doesn't just happen. Woo! All right, Capricorn. All right, let's get a shadow card for Capricorn. I shouldn't have talked about food. Now I'm fucking starving. What I really want is crab legs. I can't grow like seafood in my backyard, and I can't make it on my kitchen counter. Damn it. Maybe I'll do that for like a birthday. I might be with an old friend for my birthday. I haven't to look at the dates. Okay. Capricorn, I'll have what you're having. Even your shadow card. It's love. Open up. Be open. What did I say? You have to. And I felt like even the money and challenge card was moving over into like relationships. The minute you do this, 10 of Pentacles and love as the shadow card. I have a meme that I like to put up on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, please do. It's the same handle everywhere over all my platforms. I think there might be like an underscore between Susie and Evolutionary, but there's a meme that I put up and it says one of the most important things in life is not just to let love out, but that you remember to let love in. And it's an older gentleman with a long beard like this and a little tiny kitten. That's all this is. My creme brulee Capricornian friends, whom I love. I was having that conversation with a friend the other night, like so many Capricorns in my life. It's just important to let it in. You know how to take care of others. And then letting it in, like really. Okay. Aquarius and Pisces, I'm going to give away a reading. I'm going to take these. Aquarius, you are also trining this beautiful new moon conjunct Venus with a little bit of a challenge of the softer Saturn that's in Pisces. So especially if you have Aquarius placements between 11 and 21 degrees, because that moon is at 16 conjunct Venus and Saturn is at 18. Okay, so we get the well, and the well is unique to this card. It's an extra card in this ethereal tarot deck. The well is, everything is kind of happening, but being trepidatious about moving out of it. There's the well and the artist. And the artist, we see somebody looking at stuff from far away and wanting to go and help. And this one is kind of sitting. It came out in reverse. Aquarius, I'll be honest, for a few of you, I feel like you're in a situation where you keep trying to find solutions, but you're getting to the point where you realize you can't make other people take the solutions. Like, you might be solution minded, you might be like forward movement minded, It might be time to let other people crash. Keep hearing, oof, I just got like tightness right here. And I keep hearing like you can lead a horse to water, can't make him drink. How is this relating with money, Aquarius? How is this relating with money? Not for everybody, but a few of you almost want to say frat boy behavior. There's somebody in that you're financially tied to, maybe business, maybe, I don't know, could be personal, but they're just kind of irresponsible. And like there's a part of you that dreads if they don't get it in check, which they keep promising to do, that this is gonna like backlash on you. Boundaries. Use that Saturn. You're a partially Saturn run sign. Use the Saturn and Pisces. Again, you can make them gentle boundaries, but put the boundaries in. Because you do not want to be here anymore. Look at the smoke. Look at like the stuff going on. It's time to like get up and you may feel like there's a well, like there's a deep place that but you get up and out, and you already know that, and you just have to make the move and let Saturn help you make the move. And kind of, I want to say secure the bag, but like, wait, the words are coming. It's like your money, and like, I just want to say like protection over it by disassociating from whatever this is. It's not your unhealthy attachments. I swear, Aquarius, it's somebody else's unhealthy attachment, and you've tried to be kind. There's a word. There's a word. Maybe it'll come to me while I'm pulling the love card. I want to say like you need to preserve the good name of your money, which makes zero sense, but whoever's supposed to hear this, it'll make sense to them. So, okay, Aquarius love card. Nothing is fully popping out. I like it all the way. Okay. The star, you got the star, Aquarius, and you got the Ace of Cups. So we have an Ace of Cups and we have the star card. And I want to say somebody else got the star and the Ace of Wands. I feel like that was Virgo, but it could be wrong. No, it was Libra. So the other air signs. So this, I'm telling you, this Venus in Gemini is very healing, because the most important thing to heal is this. It all starts here. And that is very Venus in Gemini. So we have an I love you coming in. Some kind of love coming in. Universe is helping this along. Universe is saying this is for you. Well, we have wish fulfillment and healing in the star card here. This star card is a little less bold than Libra's, but that one also came with an Ace of Wands. I mean, not so shabby for Aquarius. Oh, I hate that I just felt that. Just for a few of you, that's not the relationship you're in right now. This might be that the person that you're tied to financially that's kind of a little reckless and has like irresponsible behavior. But you know, universe, you'll work that out. I mean, Aquarius, you'll work that out if that's you. I did not. I like it for you because it feels like you're overdue, because you've been like, shit's been on fire for a while. So like, I love that for you. I want every human to have like real love that's like well suited to them and healthy, right? And the star's here, so we know it's a healthy. But I hate being messy. Like, I hate, like, because I'm a Cancer. Triangulation is not something I'm very comfortable with. But this will work itself out. Let's pull a shadow card for you, and then we're on to Pisces. The revolutionary. And it feels like like everything's, I feel like Aquarius has a lot of change, and not just because Pluto's been in your sign. In December, Mars goes into retrograde in Leo. So whatever house got like, it's interesting because that's not really true. So if you're worried that the same placements or the same conversations, transits, whatever, that kind of got read to filth in the Leo Venus retrograde, that retrograde only it went to 28 degrees, like all the way back to I want to say like 6 or 8 in Leo. This retrograde in Mars in Leo only goes to 6 degrees, and it retrogrades all the way back into Cancer. So different placements, different places in that house, and different conversations, because it's different. Like, it'll more affect late cardinal, where the other one affected late to mid to early Leo. This one is going to affect only very early Leo, and then and so early fixed, early fire, and then late and mid Cancer, cardinal, and water. But I feel like this affects you, Aquarius. This is like the beginning of a revolution. I feel like it's going to take until the Sagittarius new moon for the revolution to be over in your life. But damn, is it good when it does. Okay. Pisces. Pisces, this new moon with Venus, 16 degrees, is squaring your placements between like 11 and 21. And it is also squaring Saturn at 18 degrees. That was my stomach. I kind of didn't eat anything this morning. This morning started late because last night was late. Okay. Pisces, what is the challenge? And how does, when the challenge is released and met, because you have whatever when a challenge comes in form of a square in your chart, in a transit, you already have what you need. It's just the confidence and understanding and not overthinking and bad word influences, to know that you already have the tools to meet that challenge. And then when you meet that challenge, what happens that kind of unlocks money and value for you in this new moon? Okay. So King of Pentacles came out sideways. That's a big deal for Pisces to get the King of Pentacles. This is about authority. This is about authority. So it's funny because, you know, Saturn's running through your sign, Pisces. It's about halfway through. The King of Pentacles is like wise, and it knows like what it knows. It has a wealth of knowledge. You know, Jupiter is a great teacher, but so is Saturn. Saturn is the wisdom that we get from like graduating from the School of Hard Knocks. It's the PhD from that university. It's earned experience. If you've ever talked to somebody, and even in astrology, there is, you know, I love what I see the younger generations doing, and what they stand for. And they're brilliant and they're smart. And you'll even hear teachers saying like some of the capacity these kids have for subject matters or whatever. So this isn't a knock, but there's also like lived experience, which cannot be replaced with any amount of brilliance. And sometimes you have people with lived experience that didn't take in that lived experience. So like there's no right or wrong. But when we're talking about that Saturnian energy of the King of Pentacles, we're talking about value in every step that was walked. You have that, Pisces. For some reason, it feels like weird for you to step into the authority role for some of you. This only needs a half turn. This only needs a half turn for that challenge to be met. Again, confidence in here, that Venus that's conjunct this new moon. There's a really annoying commercial right now for like Peloton where the woman is like yelling, and I get it, like, you know, it's the cycle coach or whatever, and she's like, yes I can, yes I am. Write down some affirmations for you. New moon in Gemini. Write it. You're gonna have to meet the challenge by like being your own hype man, Pisces. Hype person. You're already there. Like, you know what you know, and you have tons of value in your lived experience. Pisces sometimes comes in like a little old soul dipped in new skin, you know, like, so like there's so much lived experience with you. But sometimes the like understanding also, because you've such an old soul, like the largeness of the universe can make you feel a little smaller than you should feel. You are the authority. It's like when you look around for the grown-up in the room and you realize you are the grown-up in the room, that is that reading. There's no better way to say it. Old soul and tired soul, right? Yeah. I always say Pisces can be tired. Also, you know, what our sun sign is kind of energizes us or depletes us from energy. So sometimes with Pisces, it's almost easier to deplete because you feel everything. So you can be tired, quite physically and spiritually and mentally, emotionally. Let's get you a good love card. 9 of Pentacles. Picking the fruit, something is ripe. There is a relationship that's ripe right now. It's what it should be. It's what it should be for you. Oof. If there's somebody that you're waiting to approach, this is your green light. I'm not mad at that. 9 of Pentacles is also confidence. 9 of Pentacles and like these two go together so well. You look at all this Pentacles energy that you're getting with Saturn in your sign, Pisces. Concretizing the Neptunian energy. The beautifully covered shiny weight on that mylar balloon display. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. Again, don't feel like a shadow card is necessary right now for Pisces. Let's take one of these. Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. My hair is so wavy today. I'm at that place in my life where it's like kind of straight in some places and like naturally wavy in the other, and I wish it would just all do one thing. Okay. Intention. Could we say wise owl, wise person, ready to like pick your fruits of your rewards? I mean, this is all the same stuff in a different font. Intention. Whatever you're setting your intention on, and what did I say? Write down your intentions, manifestations, redirects. Have the redirect. You know how I said for another sign previously, like you need to have like the redirect, like the phrase in your back pocket for the next time, I think it was Virgo, that you come along somebody who's like being passive aggressive, because you're not sure if they're not really being passive aggressive and are going to be like resentful and shitty in your face later, or if they're just struggling, stumbling on their words, right? So have like a phrase ready to go. This phrase that you have ready to go is not to combat somebody else. It's to combat your own, as old people used to say, stinking thinking. Look, everything's ready to hatch. Everything's ripe. You are the authority. You have everything that you need. Just like set the intention, Pisces. Intention setting is always beautiful on any moon or lunar activity. This is going to be, maybe I'll do something a little on the full moon. Close. I have to go see what time it is. I feel like it's early. Let's see I'm so busy this week. I don't want to overcommit. Maybe I'll do a quick intention thing that day if people want to join me or watch it later or whatever. Or maybe I'll do it before. It's a lot of maybes, Susie. I just need 2 of me and I'm fine. Just 2 of me. That's all I need. Anyone else feel that way? Just need 2 of me. 2 of me could, oh my God, I would have everything going. Okay, let's use these guys and this. Okay, I'm gonna take 2 of these dice. I'm not even gonna look. 9:53 a.m. Eastern on June 6th. Today is Sunday, so is that Thursday? It's Friday. So maybe I'll do something Thursday night. We'll see. I think Thursday I'm pretty busy, but we'll see. And one last time, I'm going to be doing a comprehensive 2-part Jupiter and Gemini and how that's going to affect the concentrated energy for a whole year in your chart. So you need to know what your chart is. If you don't know like your exact degrees, but you have your birth info, contact me on my website. If you want a reading, contact me on my website. If you're interested, that's all clear once you get to the website. If you're interested in membership, we have fun in membership. And there's lots. You get lots. I keep getting told by my members that there's a lot in membership that you get for what you pay. But that's all in the box in the thing. If anybody if any of the moderators want to just throw up my website, the SusieEvolutionary.com, for anybody that's looking to contact me. It's also in the description box though. All right, so I'm going to pick 2 of these. I'm not looking. So we have a house and a sign. Yeah, okay. Sometimes the South Node looks like Leo to me, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's a sign. All right, so we have a house number and a sign. So I'm gonna roll, and you're gonna get whoever. I will concentrate on the number and the sign in my head, so don't start guessing till I'm done rolling. And then when you guess the right combination of house and sign. that one kept going. Okay. Okay, I've got it. So I'm just going to sit here and think. And you guys can start guessing. We're guessing 1 through 12 and Aries through Pisces, and it's a specific combination. Maricela. I don't see it yet. Also, like, last month, my back was, like, out, like, most of May. So then I did, like, live streams and did whatever you wanted me to read in your chart and pulled cards. So, like, if for any reason one of your perks is slow to get to or anything, I will make it up. That's just because I need to sleep at night. I gotta tell you, I haven't, the one hint I'll give you is that I have not seen the house number yet. I have seen the sign. I've not seen the house number. That's helpful. Quite a few of you have guessed the sign. I'm going to sit and let you, like, focus in on my energy. You can all listen to my stomach. So close. And this is for a 15-minute, but you can add on. I want to make an inappropriate joke about, like, dancing around something. I'm just double checking all the answers that I didn't miss it, because that has happened. I did not yet. This has to be one of the longest ones we've had in a while. All right, I'm going to tell you all process of elimination. Look for a combo that hasn't been guessed. One of you specifically is like so close. I will say the house has been guessed a lot now. And the sign has been guessed a decent amount, but they have not been put together. All right, I'm going to concentrate heavily again. I'm going to like write it in the air in my mind like Kermit. Dali. It's 10th house Virgo. Yeah. It was 10th house Virgo. Y'all, Cheryl and Blissful Knowing danced, or like guessed every 10th house combination but Virgo. It's 10th house Virgo. So Dali, you've got my email, babe. So you get a 15-minute. If you want to add on to that, you can. Also probably around the Capricorn full moon, I will be putting out my birthday special. I run a special every year. It's just a gratitude special. So on my birthday, I run insane discounts. You can buy as many as you want as far as 7 months in. And I only run 2 of those a year. Dude, Blissful, I really thought you had it. I thought you or Cheryl for sure had it. Cheryl, come back next week. I'm going to put wrenches on Cheryl and Maricela. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. And again, if you don't know your exact degrees on everything in your chart, let me know. I can help you with that. And then look for the Jupiter video, because it's concentrated energy somewhere in your chart. Really interesting. And it's benefic. It's amazing. But there's also some pitfalls. So we're going to try to avoid those. And I'm going to help you do that. All right. I love you. Know you love you. Thank you for watching. Please share if you can. And if you're a replay viewer and you haven't subscribed, I appreciate that when you do. It helps the channel. And then allows me to give back more. All right. Bye, everyone.